Hello everyone. This was a good week of chapters with Undead Unluck standing out the most for me. Mashle was right behind it and Sakamoto Days was very good. So we're starting off with Black Clover chapter 296. This was a good chapter, mostly fight heavy between Vanica and Noelle, as well as we get a flashback of the battle between Vanica and Noelle's mother, Acer. So the chapter starts off with Noelle finishing her transformation into the Saint stage, Vanica getting chills and going all out on an attack, but Noelle is able to easily counter it. Vanica's getting very excited and looks forward to it. Undyne tells Noelle she has to finish the fight within a minute. Noelle, however, says that she'll end it in 30 seconds. Noelle dives forward, dodging back and forth against Vanica's attack, even hitting her once or twice. It continues showing them going back and forth. Vanica's thrilled with the situation, and it flashes back to when Vanica fused with Magnolia for the first time, and she wanted to have a real fight. So she snuck into the Clover Kingdom to fight this super strong woman, which happened to be Acer. They battle, but Noelle and Nezel are caught. Vanica plans on killing them because she thinks that's making Acer weak, but then Acer then informs Vanica that the strongest thing in the world is a mother protecting her children, and she fatally wounds Vanica. Magnolia tells her to run away, so she does, and she heals her wounds. Vanica's remembering that this fight reminds her of that and is getting extremely excited. Goes for a super attack, but Noelle completely negates that attack and ends up stabbing Vanica right in the stomach the same way that her mother did. So that was the chapter. Again, it was fairly quick, fairly nice in its way of just having massive battle continuing, with Noelle showing that she's very powerful now. Again, will she keep the strength? Probably not. You never know. Maybe Lola Pachika decides to let Undyne stay with Noelle, knowing Noelle can get more out of Undyne than she could. Maybe something else. I don't know. But so far, Noelle is actually looking very powerful right now. It should be fun to see where this arc goes, especially with all the powerful people starting to grow even stronger from these fights. Overall, I'd give that chapter a B. I thought it was good, nice, short, fight-heavy chapter with a little backstory on how Noelle's mother got the curse, which was more a defensive maneuver from Vanica than like an outright just cursing someone. It also makes it that Vanica's the one to blame for what happened to Noelle and her family. So this is even more personal. Now we're on to Undead Unluck chapter 68, and this was a great chapter showing a lot of the consequences of the recent battles, as well as Fuuko making a nearly series changing decision. So the chapter starts with the Union crew having defeated both Summer and Fang, reporting back to Juiz and telling her that what happened, reporting back to her. But then Juiz asks if there's any changes they've noticed. Apocalypse then starts laughing as a brutal winter comes over the place they're at. A blizzard hits and everything, and Apocalypse is bragging and getting excited, though he plans on not telling them anything until Mew looks at him and he starts spilling the beans, which is that by killing Summer, it throws off the balance of the seasons, meaning that the earth will freeze over unless they can get rid of winter. So they have to kill winter quickly, otherwise things are going to go from bad to worse and kill off humanity. Fuuko's confused by this in a way that she thought that getting the quests would help people, as they had by that point always helped humanity in a way. Apocalypse then tells her that that's not the case, that the quests are whatever, and that the fact that God gives them a reward shows how benevolent God is, according to Apocalypse, and that he could destroy everything in a blink of an eye just because he felt like it, and that everyone here is just mere playthings to him, and for Fuuko not to forget that. They then now realize they have to get to winter very quickly. They ask Juiz what to do, and Juiz knows where winter is, and that Billy's there, standing watch and waiting. They realize that they have to negotiate with Billy to try and get rid of winter quickly, but they're at a weakened position because they know Billy wants something, but Billy holds the cards here as they're going to try to save as many innocent people as possible, or Billy doesn't care. Billy is willing to sacrifice thousands, millions of people to get what he thinks and save everyone as a whole. Basically the mathematical sacrifice 1 to save 10 type of deal. Juiz explains that they want Fuuko's power, and they'll probably have to hand over both Fuuko and Apocalypse to get this done, maybe, and they really can't do that. So they already know their location, and so Juiz plans on attacking when Billy's right-hand man, the guy with megaphones coming out of his head, shows up through a portal and drops off Juiz's arm that Billy shot off before. Juiz tries to tell everyone to remain calm, but most of the fighting type negators jump right in and attack this guy. He's able to block them all with whatever devices he can bring out from his body, and it seems as though the Under plan on like manipulating Fuuko. We find that his name is Tella, the Under member that just arrived. Fuuko asks what will it take to kill Winter right away, what would be willing to trade. So Fuuko decides to offer up herself and offers to go and join Under so that they will kill Winter right away and save the world right now. This shocks Tella and everyone else in the Union. Everyone's stunned by this admittedly brave sacrifice, quote unquote. Juiz tries to tell her not to do that, but Fuuko tells her that they need to protect innocent lives and that Juiz hasn't said anything bad about Billy. Thus, Fuuko believes that she'll be okay, and she knows that Billy hasn't been able to steal her unluck ability, thus he needs some requirement, so she'll be left alive, and so on. So she wants to now go and check and see what Billy wants, what is it all about, and everything. She also asks to borrow Juiz's sword because her gun ran out of bullets. Juiz says yes, and that she's sorry that she has to go. Tella is surprised that this didn't go as planned, but it works in a way. So a bunch of the Under members that are there, Titania, Top, and Chikara, try to tell Fuuko not to go, but Fuuko's already determined. Andy tells her to not go dying on him, and Fuuko tells him that she won't be back soon. So that's the end of the chapter, and so now we're embarking on a new arc where Fuuko is separated from the Union. Overall, I'd give that chapter an A. I thought it was great seeing how Fuuko makes this huge series-defining decision to go over and join Under, where now we'll learn more about them, seeing some of their stories, I'm assuming, because we at least know a few of them. Trying to think of where, well, the story changes. Now she has to fend for herself. She'll probably grow even further. I'm assuming this kind of confirms they'll at least push off Ragnarok for another quest. We'll learn more about the enemy motivations, whatever. It was a good, interesting decision to go this route, to have Fuuko break away from Andy, having her grow stronger, as well as Andy now being less dependent on Unluck. Now he'll even grow stronger. It'll be interesting. I look forward to seeing where the story goes with this decision from here. Now we're on to Mashle, Magic and Muscles, chapter 67. And this was a fun chapter, as they almost all are, with the continued fight between Mash and Cell War, as Cell War unleashes his full magic. So the chapter starts by having Cell War have his wand grow into 4 diamond bladed discs, and so he starts to attack Mash, and Mash has to dodge all the rings because they're diamond tipped. They'll cut up everything. They go kind of back and forth as Mash is able to dodge everything, but he is getting cut because it's so sharp. They're diamond blades that you can't stop them. There's nothing stronger than diamond in a manner of speaking. Thus, he can't physically stop them by blocking, so he has to dodge them. He sees that Cell War's holding back a little bit by only throwing out 2 of the blades instead of all 4, because all 4 would be too much for Mash. We then see that Cell War set up another giant spiky ball of death and plans on dropping it on all the students, killing everyone. So the attack continues. Mash gets an idea, turns around, gets sliced in the back, and runs away. At least that's what it seems. Cell War is confused and paused by this, but doesn't really care. He just plans on moving on now, only to find that Mash is already right behind him as he ran around the entire academy to get behind Cell War so fast. Cell War is concerned about this, but he's able to turn his skin into diamonds, so he feels he's won. One of the discs makes it and followed Mash all the way till it cut Mash pretty much in half, killing him from what it shows, and Cell War believes he's won, starts kicking Mash in the head, only for Mash's head to turn into a cream puff. Mash to be alive and well and start stuffing cream puffs down his mouth till he chokes, and we see that Mash actually choked him out in 1 second. having it that he put him in a chokehold, and literally quoting what it says, using the explosive strength of his biceps, Mash cut off oxygen from the carotid artery, knocking him out in less than a second. Thus, the blade didn't reach Mash nor cut him, and the spiky death ball exploded. So Mash beat Cell War by choking him out. And then Mash told him that he cares about the school, and if anyone wants to destroy it, they'll get choked out. Mash being able to beat anyone and everyone is really funny. The fact that he did not struggle there was pretty great, and knocking him out with his explosive biceps through a chokehold is very much just Mash. So overall, I'd give that chapter a B. I thought it was great. I thought it was very fun and very good, seeing as how it finished up the Cell War fight pretty quickly, and now Mash could come back and fight the rest of the monsters with everyone else. We also have the headmaster battle, Wahlberg versus Innocent Zero, so we'll probably get a winner of that pretty soon, and then probably go back to the usual shenanigans, probably with some more new member stuff, because Mash, I believe, passed the Divine Visionary exam, so now he is one. Thus, in theory, he could quit the school, but I think he's having too much fun, so he's not. It'll be fun from here. I look forward to wherever it goes from this point. So now we're on to Sakamoto Days, chapter 28. This was a good chapter, with the conclusion of the arc being pretty close. Setting up the big bad of this world pretty much is interesting, as well as hopefully potentially getting a new member of the crew. That would be fun. So the chapter starts with Hazaki showing off that he showed up and shot the invisible guy. Shin tells Hazaki that he had nice timing. Then we see his thoughts, which are very jumbled, as Shen calls it gibberish. The invisible guy thinks that he's safe now that he knows there's a sniper, only to find that Hasaki's ricocheting bullets make it not so easy. So the invisible guy turns invisible, disappears, but Hazaki starts shooting and taking out the platform, shooting again and again, just missing him when he just fully disappears, gets to a vantage point and attacks Hazaki with something, only to find that he put his invisibility cloak around an iron pipe and cut Hazaki, making the iron pipe invisible. The invisible guy explains that it's not that he has supernatural abilities, it's just that the coat makes him invisible, or his clothing does. Thus, he can actually put it on other things, making other things invisible. He thinks he's won, but Hazaki ricochets the bullet off of something and shoots his arm. He makes it look like his arm got shot off, only for it to not be true, as he just made his arm invisible and stabs Hazaki with his invisible arm. Hazaki thinks he's won and walks away, telling him that he doesn't understand why he would do so much for a friend, because the invisible guy explains that friends are supposed to be fun. If they're not, they should be cut off. He turns invisible again when Hazaki, through wanting to help Shin, calls out to Shin, gives him a plan in his head, has his bird drop a bullet to him, and he ricochets the bullet off to hit the sprinklers, which causes the invisible guy to be seen because of the rain, the water, and Shen is able to take him out. We see that Shen really had to piece together what Hazaki's thought process was, but he was able to figure it out. But then explosions start going off. We then see that the cyborg realizes that not that they're not going to win, but that they've been compromised, so they're going to blow up the entire lab. He thinks it's a waste, but that's all they've got. They have about 20 minutes before the entire lab gets destroyed, so the cyborg believes that it's over. Shen and Sakamoto, they're pretty much done. Sakamoto says 20 minutes with a question mark, and then says 5 should be plenty to beat the cyborg guy, is what I'm assuming he means. So that was the chapter. It was very good. I enjoyed it. Overall, I'd give that chapter a B. Like I said, it was good. It was fun. It showed the continued teamwork of Shen and Hazaki, who I genuinely do hope continues to be a part of this crew. Maybe because of what he did by soothing Sakamoto's daughter's worries, as well as helping them escape. He gets a job, so then now there's 3 of them, 3 morons and Sakamoto. That would be fun. I think that's a fun dynamic and sets up for more ridiculous antic arcs to come. So that's about it. We still got a little bit left. I'm assuming Sakamoto will either beat this guy pretty handily, or this guy escapes to go back to the ex-assassin. I think I might have said this last week, but we'll end up seeing. It should be fun. I look forward to seeing wherever it goes from there. Now we're on to I Tell C, chapter 20. And this was a confusing chapter. Not to say it was bad, but it was confusing, as it seems we're setting up for a new case. I wouldn't say arc because I don't know how long this will go, but it's a new case all the more. So it starts with some guy walking towards a police department with a bomb. We then cut to Riza giving Sekon a bento box, and Sekon's somewhat concerned, not knowing why she's giving him that and believing it's filled with poison, for which she tells him no, it's not filled with poison. She also then reveals that it was meant for a criminal guy they caught the other day, but the guard turned her away, so she was going to give it to Sekon to not waste it when the chief arrives, telling them they have to go somewhere, and that we find this case, which is that a police station, a individual arrived and threw a bomb at this police station's sergeant, not killing him, but wounding him, and then he wants a person with the first name of A to arrive. So there's that, and then just hearing the first name of A, Sekon realized that it was Riza, sees that Riza's gone, and is already inside the police department talking to the guy who brought the bomb. Her name is Riza Io, so the first name of Io. So we see the guy, he sees Riza Io, and he's been waiting for her, saying it's a fine name and that she's cute. She then is getting all giddy about being called cute by a criminal, as she always does. We find out that the bomb is strapped to his chest, and we get to play this game with this guy. There's a password on it, and he's not giving the password to anyone until the bomb explodes. They have to try to figure out what the bomb password is, which apparently it's a single letter. Now, of course, it's been translated here into English, but it might be a kanji in Japan. I'm not sure. And now that I'm thinking about it, it might be I'm not sure. So they want to know the password to save him, but he doesn't care. He had planned on not making it anyway. Sekon starts getting frustrated with him because he's speaking somewhat fancy-like. And so Riza asks him a series of ridiculous questions, trying to get some sort of clue and an answer to it, to no avail. The guy with the bomb tells them to leave. He wants to be the only one who dies in this explosion. So we see that he is quivering. He doesn't want to die, pretty much is what it's sort of getting at. And so then he records his will. He badmouths some guy, Yodabayashi, some no good cop, and his mom, who, whatever. He's upset with something, this guy. He doesn't seem very old. Oh, Yodabayashi might be the sergeant, now that I'm seeing it. So this was sort of a targeted, planned thing, so that's interesting. They see that they're running out of time. He doesn't care. He plans on dying with this bomb. Sekon realizes they don't really have that much time, so he plans on getting Riza out of there. She then asks the question she asked twice before, which is, what is his favorite animal? He answered with 3 different animals, but each one that I found contained an A, and then what he wanted was someone with an A. So now I'm thinking that the password is A, and that's what it was. And so she told him that, and Sekon's coming in to put in the password. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. I wonder if it's a translation thing also, where it's something weird. I don't know. But we'll see if they saved him or not. Who knows? There's something going on here now that I looked at it again as I'm recapping it. There's something here, so this might be the start of an arc. Maybe a corrupt cop. Something's up with this kid. I don't know. So that was the chapter. I thought it was good but confusing. Like I said, overall, I'd give this chapter a B just because there is something there, and I think it'll look better. It'll read better later, like once the arc is over, once we know what the hell's actually going on. But so far, it's confusing. It's good, but I need to see more. So that's all the chapters. This was a good week overall. No One Piece, which is fine. That's not an issue. It was just good, though. It wasn't like one of the other type of weeks where everything's really flowing well. It was super hyped and everything. It was just a good week, which isn't bad to have. Undead Unluck really surprised me with their decision making. Having Fuuko go away from the Union was, I think, a pretty ingenious move. Mashle was very fun, as it almost always is. Having its conclusion to that fight with Mash was a good decision. And I think the arc doesn't have too much longer, just like with Sakamoto, where both will pretty much end within the next few chapters, and then regular insanity will ensue. I don't think it'll go right into another big arc, but I said that about the last few, at least with Mashle. ITLC was, like I said, confusing, but good. I'm hoping I won't be wrong on that in the future, but this one was a puzzle. that I tried to solve myself, and I think I got it, but now I need to know next week. And Black Clover was always good. That wasn't an issue. It was just a continuation of the fight and wherever the story goes from here. Again, it adds more personal beef for Vanica and Noelle to hash out with this fight, just like with Yuno and his opponent. So that's it. They were all very good. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and as always, thank you for watching.